Welcome back. And just last week, I made a video and it was titled that Solana is targeting the internet computer. And now we're hearing that the internet computer is actually implementing the internet computer blockchain onto Solana, bringing interoperability and a merged ecosystem as we speak. So we're going to be going through what this actually means, how the internet computer is going to do this, what this actually means for the Solana and ICP ecosystem, and we're going to go through some other stats on the blockchain to give you guys a new updated view of the ICP ecosystem. Don't forget to give this video a free thumbs up. We upload almost every single day of the year to bring you the latest happening in the financial world. So also make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. That way you never miss a new video. And if you want to help support the channel, click the join button down below to learn more about becoming a channel member, or you can leave a super chat down below. Now, many of you guys know that we have what's called chain fusion technology on the internet computer. Effectively, chain fusion technology is interoperability. And now what the internet computer team is doing is bringing the ICP ecosystem into the Solana ecosystem and vice versa. And so this is expanding on the interoperability, expanding on the chain fusion capabilities, and effectively expanding on what the goal of the internet computer is, which is to become the world computer. I mean, this is even on the internet computer's own website. If you go to the main webpage of the internet computer, it literally says right here, the world computer. And so to be the world computer, you need to have high levels of interoperability, the ability to, transfer data, information, and value from chain to chain. And although, yes, it does appear that Solana, at least one project being built on Solana is coming after internet computers' AI capabilities, and I would definitely recommend going and watching that video on my channel. Internet computer is still moving forward with its vision of creating the world's computer, regardless of what these other ecosystems are doing, regardless of these other ecosystems that are stealing the technology of internet computer and making it seem like their own. But now we're hearing from developers and the Dfinity organization that the Dfinity cross-chain team just announced the first version of the Solana RPC canister. Now, keep in mind, this is pre-release, meaning that it's, I guess, being tested and kind of slowly being rolled out, right? According to the team, at the end of April, early May, they said this is a pre-release currently deployed on a staging canister. Remember, canisters are smart contracts on the fiduciary subnet. The only difference with the upcoming production canister is that the staging canister is controlled by the team at Dfinity, while the production canister will be controlled by the NNS, the network nervous system for the blockchain, right? It's effectively the nodes that control what information stays within the ICP ecosystem and what is not. And so, again, slow rollout of this. Earlier in the year, they announced basically what this Solana RPC is. And so let's kind of go over this, and then we'll go into more detail on what the RPC is, what this means for the ICP ecosystem, and what this means for you as a potential investor in ICP. So the cross-chain team over at Dfinity, the main developer behind the internet computer, said in March, as announced at the Global Research and Development Conference in January of this year, Dfinity is working on a Solana RPC canister that will leverage HTTP outcalls to interact with the Solana blockchain. This canister will be managed as a service under the NNS control and will extend the chain fusion capabilities of internet computer together with the already available support for the threshold EDC DSA signatures. The helium milestone will be complete. Some of this is the developer kind of language that us non-developers like, what the hell are they talking about? But the bottom line is, this is super important. As we have covered on this channel, there are still blockchains out here in the top 10, top 20, top 30, top 40 cryptos in the world that have zero interoperability. They have zero actual cross-chain bridges that are being used by anybody. And so obviously the Solana RPC is going to be different than the Ethereum's RPC, but this is on the Internet Computer's documents page, which talks a little bit about what the Ethereum's RPC does. So the Ethereum virtual machine, EVM, their remote procedure call, or RPC canister, enables communication between internet computer and the RPC services. These services, such as Cloudflare and Alchemy, provide public APIs for interacting with blockchain networks. The Ethereum virtual machine RPC canister acts as a gateway for the dApps canister to communicate with and query information from the EVM compatible chains. Effectively, the smart contract is able to interact with these APIs from these other networks to be able to pull information from those blockchains to identify, what is in that wallet, what is in that smart contract, and relay it and translate it into the internet computer version of, Ethereum, I guess you could say. Anyway, it provides endpoints that internet computer developers can use to interact with Ethereum smart contracts and ensure that the response received from the Ethereum network are secure and immediately useful within the canister smart contract. To make these calls to external chains, the Ethereum virtual machine canister utilizes Internet Computer Protocol HTTP outcalls, which is a feature to make calls to the JSON RPC endpoints. HTTPS outcalls are then used to make these outgoing HTTP calls to traditional Web 2 servers. The response that's returned from these servers can be used safely in the context of a canister smart contract without the risk of state divergence between the replicas on the subnet. Basically, effectively, what that means is Internet Computer is able to interact with the Ethereum network and smart contracts to identify, is this true? Is this not true? Is the money there? Is the money not there? And then relay that information over to Internet Computer to create essentially an identical copy of what's happening on the Ethereum chain. And it's also able to communicate any changes that should be made within the Ethereum ecosystem. And so this is a more simplified version of what this all means, and it goes into more detail on what this can do and all of that. We're not going to get into all of the details. Effectively, you just need to understand that this is just more expansion of chain fusion technology, which is Internet Computer's version of interoperability. We know with Ethereum and Solana, many of these other chains, they use what's called bridges, right? These are smart contracts that just bridge the information from one chain to another. These have historically been the cause of most hacks within the Ethereum ecosystem. They all are basically from exploits within the smart contract that allow the bridge to be exploited and the money to be moved to other chains and then stolen. We have not seen this just yet within the Internet Computer ecosystem, which would tell me that the chain fusion technology is probably more secure at this point. The other thing to keep in mind is that, the Ethereum is the big daddy of the altcoins, right? So that's really where most of the focus is. But if we look here at chain key transactions, this shows us how many chain key transactions took place over a period of time. And you can see over the last 1 year, we've had over 2 million chain key transactions. And basically that means all these chain key tokens that we have, all the interoperability on Internet Computer, there's been 2 million transactions. Now, is that a lot? Is that not a lot? I don't know. We would have to do the math. I mean, we could do the math right now. 2017236, we divide it by 365 days in the year. It's 5,000 per day divided by 24 hours in the day. 230 per hour divided by 60 minutes in the hour. It's about 4 chain key transactions a minute. Honestly, for Internet Computer, I would say that's probably a pretty good number. I thought it was actually going to be lower than that. Because, there's probably way more on Solana and way more on Ethereum. But remember, Internet Computer is still in development. It's not as matured as these other ecosystems out here. And so if we look a little bit lower down on the page on the Internet Computer website, we can see that chain fusion and chain key technology is on the Internet Computer, and Internet Computer is effectively bridged to many different ecosystems, including Bitcoin, Tether, USDC, Ethereum, Chainlink, I think that's Octopus, Pepecoin, Eurocoin, the Shiba Inu coin. I don't know what coin that is. Wrapped staked ETH coin, Uniswap coin, and wrapped Bitcoin, and soon to be Solana. And so this is coming, guys. It's coming very, very soon. This is going to just further the expansion and further the vision of what the Internet Computer wants to achieve and is achieving. I think that this is a huge deal. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Cryptoviser is not that big of a deal. It's just the interoperability bridge. But if we think about like what Solana is trying to achieve, what they have already achieved this cycle, I mean, they really have not achieved that much this cycle. It's just been meme coins. And so now having interoperability, even though Solana projects are basically targeting internet computers' AI capabilities by basically creating competition for internet computer. It's not necessarily in a bad way, but they are creating competition for internet computer. And while that's bad, because now internet computer may have to work a little bit harder, that's also actually good for as an investor standpoint, because they're going to have to work harder to make internet computer even more efficient and more better than these other chains that are trying to advance their AI capabilities. And there's a potential that they will be able to do that if internet computer doesn't stay competitive and doesn't stay ahead. This is one of the things that we've talked about with a lot of these other ecosystems in crypto, is that they don't try to perfect something. They're just trying to chase the narrative. What's the next narrative? Is it going to be AI? Okay, let's go focus on AI, but it's not real, right? Think about artificial superintelligence crypto. They merged over a year ago at this point in 2024 with Fetch AI, Ocean Protocol, and Singularity Net, promising that they were going to create artificial superintelligence on chain. And to date, we don't have anything, right? So, internet computer is really the only major blockchain that has been really going for AI for a long time now, and they're the only ones that have on-chain AI currently live and active. The other thing to keep in mind is that now that internet computer is going to be bridged to Solana, the Solana ecosystem will be able to also cross-communicate on the Internet Computer Protocol. So maybe we'll see some AI capabilities cross-chain as well as time goes on. But this is not the only positive feat that we've seen recently with the Internet Computer. We're also hearing this. Dfinity posted on X saying over 60,000 new internet identities were created in the first 3 months of 2025. Internet identity, which is an identity layer on the Internet Computer Protocol, is leveraged by many applications across the ecosystem, and those apps are growing fast. Now, if you guys are not aware what internet identity is, think of single sign-on at your organization. You have one sign-on, and then you can get into many different applications and other systems that your company may use. That's basically an internet identity, right? It's an identity within your company's, infrastructure, right? A technological infrastructure. And so they plug that in with these other companies like Salesforce or, the payroll systems or whatever else that they have. That way you can still sign in with your company credentials. That's basically an internet identity. But within the internet computer, internet identity goes up a step further. And you can see here, internet identity is a decentralized federated service running end-to-end on the internet computer. They have verifiable credentials so that you can show that, you have TSA pre-check, or, you have a driver's license, or whatever the situation is. You can access dApps quickly and securely, right? You just launch the app, sign in with your internet identity. This is something that Ethereum and even Solana have been trying to achieve by utilizing, your wallet as your identity to basically, sign into apps or prove your identity or the like. But this is taking it one step further. And by the way, this is already live. So 60,000 signups year to date in the first 3 months of the year. That means 20,000 per month, right? Of new identities being created. So if we take 20,000 per month and we divide that by 30 days, that's approximately 600 per day divided by 24 hours. It's about 27 or 28 per hour. Think about that. Every single hour in the first 3 months of the year, 28 people signed up for internet identities on the internet computer. That's amazing. Now, granted, some of these people may be testing it and, creating multiple internet identities, but even if you divided it by 2, right, still 28 divided by 2 is 13, 14 that were created per hour. It's still a lot, right? And that shows that there is onboarding going on within the internet computer ecosystem. I definitely like to learn a little bit more about what apps are utilizing this internet identity. That way we can understand a little bit more of, where the inflow of new users may be going, right? Are they using AI apps? Are they using I don't know, cross chain fusion, like we were just talking about, like what apps are they actually using? I'm sure Gfinity has this information. Maybe they're just not talking about it. Maybe it hasn't come up, but I would be curious because that would give us a little bit more insight into what these new users are using the blockchain for. Maybe there's a company that's using this technology and they're signing their employees up on the back end, utilizing the technology. And really, this is what we're looking for in blockchain, right? We're looking for back end integrations where you're using the technology, but you don't even know you're using it. It's like when you swipe your Visa card, or swipe your American Express or credit card or whatever it is. You can swipe it anywhere in the world, like even in the air, and it works, right? It's working on back end financial infrastructure technology that you don't even know that you're using. Somebody's making money off of it, right? And so, yeah, I would love to see that from ICP. Who who are using the internet identity the most? What apps or what category of apps? Anyway, moving right along. And so, yeah, supported chains. This is another thing that I wanted to go over with you guys because it talks about the interoperability capabilities of the internet computer. Other blockchain networks can be integrated with ICP if they leverage an authentication method that is supported by the threshold signing protocols of the internet computer and has a reliable RPC provider supporting this. For some chains, Dfinity or the ICP community has built libraries or canisters to simplify the integration. And so this shows a selection of supported chains and the respective authentication methods, available integrations, and chain key tokens if there are any. And so let's take a look at this list. So you can see here, Aptos does have the available integrations, but they're not yet on internet computers. So again, the ones that are not yet on internet computer, this is the potential for massive growth within the internet computer ecosystem, especially if we see some type of partnership or integration on these other ecosystems. For instance, Aptos, right? They currently, I don't think that they have any AI technologies or capabilities building, but let's say they wanted to be able to interact with AI canisters on Internet Computer Protocol. I would imagine through these chain fusion and cryptographic methods, they're able to go and do that, right? Use a smart contract on another blockchain to pull it over to Internet Computer, query the AI, and then pull the information back. Maybe not, but if not, this probably should be built. Anyway, Arvweave, not yet supported, and no assets. Avalanche, it is fully supported, right? So that we could see an Avalanche launch on Internet Computer as well. We already know chain key technology is integrated with Bitcoin. Cardano, Cosmos, and Dogecoin can all create their own coin. You can see there's already a Dogecoin canister created. Think about that. They were, I guess, getting ready during the meme coin fiasco, and then the meme coin fiasco kind of stopped, so it hasn't been fully integrated. Anyway, we also see here Filecoin, Hedera's HBAR, Caspa, Monero, and Near also have all the capabilities, including Polkadot, but no coin just yet. You can see here is the Solana RPC and the Solana cross-chain coin, but this is again in beta. It's not fully released yet. It's still in a controlled Dfinity developer environment. And then you could see here Stacks Coin, Stellar's XLM, Sui, XRP, Toncoin, and Tron also have the capabilities to interact with the chain key cryptography here on Internet Computer, but it has not been fully integrated. Again, a lot of this takes time, and there also has to be, number one, a need for it, and two, like there has to be money to be made in it. And so again, going back to chain key technology, we can actually see like what the liquidity looks like, right? How many people are using it, what the 7-day volume is. And this is probably not going to be anywhere near the number of cross-chain swaps or whatever that you see on other ecosystems like Solana or like Ethereum. But this is not really what Internet Computer is built for, right? Internet Computer is trying to build the world computer. That's what it's trying to achieve. And so they're trying to have more kind of data capabilities and storage capabilities and AI compute capabilities. And so this doesn't necessarily need, I don't think this is really what they're focused on necessarily, which is just chain fusion. Obviously, you need chain fusion to grow the capabilities of Internet Computer. and also the demand for it. But this is not chain key technology. An interoperability bridge is not going to make or break a system as long as there's connections to the other ecosystems, which Chain Fusion has. I mean, other ecosystems like Cardano still have no actual bridging method to other ecosystems. We're here in 2025, XRP has no bridging ecosystems to other ecosystems. They can do it overnight here with Internet Computer if they wanted to, and vice versa. Internet Computer can integrate XRP because we already see the technology is available and is there. So it's something to think about. There's a lot of potential expansion here, but in my view, the Internet Computer, their real key focus right now should be continuing to push the AI narrative and push the AI capabilities and technology, because at the end of the day, AI is continuing to grow. Blockchain is continuing to grow. Interoperability is continuing to grow, but it's not growing at the same pace. AI is really the next thing. And so Internet Computer staying on this path of, highly interoperable, high-powered compute, high-performance compute capabilities and AI expansion is going to set Internet Computer apart, because all these other ecosystems, including Solana, they're just trying to achieve what the narrative is. Let's get meme coins and all of this nonsense that really doesn't bring any value to the world, and definitely doesn't bring any value to the world of, big finance. Banks are not going to get involved in meme coin trading. They're going to be getting involved in the real financial markets. And I think that is the technology, right? The underlying technology and what can be built on top of it. And unfortunately, meme coins, you can't really build much on top of it. And if you don't have interoperability, you can't build much on top of it. And I think as we move into the future, if it doesn't have AI capabilities, you can't really do anything with it. And all these ecosystems that don't have that technology, all they have to do is plug in to Internet Computer. And that is what Solana is doing right now, or Internet Computer is doing with the Solana ecosystem, however you want to put it. But the bottom line is we're seeing interoperability expand. Solana is now going to be on the Internet Computer protocol. Very exciting stuff. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you guys think about everything Internet Computer. And I'll see you when I see you. Crypto on.